What you are about to hear is real news, with really opinionated commentary from Werff. While his opinions may be considered just opinions, his track record shows he speaks the truth. If you become offended by anything said in this segment, you are welcome to leave this country for a communist one, where free speech is but a distant dream. If the truth offends you, see a therapist, and get well soon. And don't forget, subscribe to full segments at thewerffreport.com/register, where you can subscribe monthly for just $6.99 or yearly for $49.99. You can also purchase a lifetime subscription to the Werff Report for a one-time payment of $99.99 at thewerffreport.com/lifetime. Your subscriptions are the only reason we're here, so please support us today. Thank you for your support and loyalty.
Good morning, and welcome to another segment of the Werff Report for November 14th. Keep America vigilant to 25. Not a conspiracy theory. An explosive new report indicates that Charlie Kirk's security detail was infiltrated by Israeli operatives, and that it wasn't a gun that killed Charlie Kirk, but a covert explosive microphone, and we have the video. Before we break into this massive story, let us address some of our audience directly regarding negative comments on our reporting. Let me start by saying what you hear and see on the Werff Report is absolute truth. Our record, which is online for everyone to see, proves that we report the truth very often before it becomes public knowledge, and in the meantime, we get unfounded slack from some very uninformed people. For a recent example, we were one of the first outlets to report that Charlie Kirk was on the cusp of becoming Catholic. That report invited a slew of attacks against the Werff Report, mainly from Protestants and others who would like to attack the Catholic Church, who made it their duty to call our reporting fake, lies, and conspiracy theories. Then came the text messages proving that Charlie truly was interested in more than the Catholic Church's architecture, contrary to false information released by Turning Point USA's lying spokesperson, Andrew Colvett. But we'll get to that in a minute. We are going to go completely nuclear in this report today, and we are going to blow this thing right out of the water. But before we do, let me just be clear that anyone, and I mean anyone, who rushes to the comments of this video to call us liars, fake news, anti-Semites, anti-Trumpers, etc., are the problem in this country. And these people are very misinformed, very deceived, and I invite everyone who receives this report for the truth that it is to pray for those people, that God may reach out to lift the veil that is over their eyes, because Satan himself has them deceived. And we mean that truly from our hearts. Today's report is going to be one of the only freebies that we've ever released. The entire video will be available to everyone. It is that important. Now let's begin, because this report may upset many of you, but rest assured that what we're telling you is the 100% truth. Our entire government, our way of life, our Congress, everything we know about everything is a lie. Everything we are allowed to see and hear is orchestrated, staged. Our elections, they're not rigged. They're completely controlled by a shadow body, which is also known as the deep state or shadow government. But it's actually not just within the United States. It is a global shadow government, which is run by the wealthiest people in the entire globe. That's why you always hear about people like George Soros. He's one of the main people running the show through money, and now through his son. It is a global organization that is controlling everything. It is so deeply rooted that I'm not sure even Trump can take it out, but he just might. It's not Democrats, it's not Republicans, it's everyone. Republicans control all three branches of government right now, yet somehow nothing of substance is getting done. The clock is intentionally being run out on Trump's presidency. How can this be? Because there is a force in control that none of us can see, and that none of us can pinpoint as individuals. It is the shadow global government which is being run and funded by evil, rich people like George Soros. And this has been decades in the making. Mike Pence was CIA. He was inserted into Trump's first presidency to infiltrate it. They used religion, like Turning Point USA is right now, to cover him, so that no one would criticize him, because they portrayed him to be this holy, God-fearing man, when in fact, he was an asset of the intelligence agency. That's a fact. Uncomfortable yet? Keep watching. We know very well that this invisible global force for evil has been working to control countries around the world by hijacking their elections and installing people in high places that are part of it. They did it in Brazil, they did it in Venezuela, they did it in Australia, France, and they did it in the United States with Joe Biden and very probably Barack Obama, who spearheaded the globalist agenda in this country and initiated it. Do you know where else they did it? Israel. And how perfectly too, because Israel is God's own people, and anyone who criticizes God's own people must be lying or from the devil. It was genius. These people have hijacked the nation of Israel by installing people who will carry out their global agenda. And through Israel, because it is protected from any and all criticism around the world, because it is the Holy Land, they have infiltrated other countries, the United States being the biggest accomplishment, through many, many means. I want to be very clear. This is not a segment against Israel. We support the true nation of Israel and its people wholeheartedly. They belong to God. This report is against the global cabal that has hijacked the government of Israel and is using it to hijack the governments of other countries to control them and the world. And that is the difference. The hijacked government of Israel spends lots of money to ensure only positive information about Israel is disseminated to the public. And anyone who asserts even the slightest criticism of Israel is labeled an anti-Semite, a liar, and evil. How perfect was this wicked plot? But now it's being exposed. The government of Israel also heavily courts our lawmakers and politicians. They fly them to Israel, especially our freshman congresspeople after elections. They shower them with financial support in various ways. And the people that play ball, they raise up. And the people that don't, they work to crush. This is all true, folks. It's so deep that nearly all of our politicians are loyalists to the Israeli government more so than they are loyalists to the United States. Satan is cunning. Through men, he has captured the nation of Israel through its government and protected this evil regime by shielding it from all global criticism on the basis of religion. People are afraid to say anything against Israel because of its undeniable and true relationship with God the Almighty. People do not want to go against God by going against Israel, but the people in charge of Israel, at least most of them, are not those people of God. They are the wicked in this world who have hijacked God's nation. This plan was brilliant, but the cat's out of the bag. At this point in time, the government of Israel, the people installed by the invisible global shadow body that is controlling everything, has very much control over most of the world. We've pointed out in previous reports how the same playbook is being followed in countries all over the world. The election rigging, the lawfare cases against opponents of this global cabal, and the absolute terror and destruction that ensues in their attempts to silence these people. Anyone who doesn't play ball has their career and reputation destroyed, their finances destroyed, they are sued viciously and often thrown in jail, or quite plainly, they are killed, which brings us to Charlie Kirk. You see, Israel funnels money into non-governmental organizations in order to control them all over the world. Then those organizations financially support activities pertinent to Israel's agenda. It's a financial web that can easily be traced and tracked if anyone is bold enough to stand up to it. But for fear of offending the stupid people in this country who are not educated on the subject and will call them evil, anti-Semites, and anti-God, they don't. And that's just the way it is. Turning Point is one of those organizations that the government of Israel was trying to get their claws into. Charlie saw it for what it was, but people within Turning Point USA only saw the money, and their eyes lit up like Christmas trees. They couldn't dare pass up so much money. Reports indicate that the offer made by Israel was upwards of $150 million. Charlie stood in the way of that. He said no. Quite frankly, the text messages show quite clearly that Charlie was fed up with the bullying from Israel and their donors to the point that just before he was murdered, he stated in writing that he felt that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause. Then they killed him. Israel had promised to take Turning Point USA to the next level, but Charlie wouldn't take the bribe. Why was Israel so interested in Turning Point USA? Because Charlie was changing the minds of future generations and causing them to see the truth. He was lifting the veil, so naturally, Israel had to have its hands in it. It was important to the future of Israel and the global agenda, and they were going to obtain control, one way or another. Bibi Netanyahu immediately went on the news here in the United States to be the first to say how much he loved Charlie, and how Charlie was a great friend of Israel. Text messages proved that was all a lie. So why lie? Bibi even misrepresented a letter Charlie wrote to paint Charlie as a staunch supporter of Israel, but Charlie had seen the truth. What I found odd when I watched this interview with Bibi instantly was that the interviewer made it a point to ask Israel about very young rumors that Israel may have been involved in Charlie's assassination, but the question was not a neutral one. The interviewer had to state within the question that the rumors were ridiculous. That proved immediately to me that Israel also had its hands in that news outlet. It was clear. It was propaganda. So now, Charlie's dead, and Turning Point USA has raked in the big bucks. The last number was about $90 million Turning Point has reportedly brought in since Charlie's murder. They are happier than a pig in filth, and they don't seem concerned in the slightest about getting to the truth about what happened to their dear friend and leader. In fact, they keep lying. They are covering something up, big time. Turning Point has reportedly implemented a software to try to catch anyone speaking about Charlie's assassination and leaking information. They've laid traps for anyone trying to get the truth out to the public. For example, if Turning Point sends out a memo or an email to its employees, there's a software where each email or memo is unique to the individual it was sent to, with very subtle one-word changes that will let Turning Point know who leaked it if it got out to the public. Crazy, right? Why would Turning Point work so hard to ensure information doesn't get out, but not at all on who killed their dear friend and leader? Charlie was brutally murdered in front of everyone, and within 48 hours, they had documents drawn up and Erica Kirk presumably at a lawyer's office signing documents to make her the CEO. The jury is out on Erica Kirk. She seems lovely in the public eye, but we have information that makes us question everything. It's almost as if Charlie's entire life was a complete lie. And I don't know about you folks, but I can truly say if my spouse was viciously slaughtered in public, I would not be able to think about anything for a long time. I'd be locking myself in my bedroom and shutting myself out from the entire world to process and grieve. I would not be jumping up within 48 hours and running to a lawyer's office to sign legal documents to take over their company. And by the way, that was a very quick turnaround for the lawyers to draw up those papers, I have to say. We understand people grieve in different ways, but not really when it's genuine and that traumatic. Maybe God gave her an amazing strength to endure, or maybe it was something much more sinister. I would also like to delve deeply into what sort of relationship, if any, that Erica Kirk had with Andrew Colvett leading up to Charlie's murder. We're just asking questions, people. Trust no one. Now to the main event. Reports indicate that Charlie's security team was infiltrated by Israeli assets. We all know, just like with the attempted assassination of Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, little things were done differently for the first time on the day Charlie was murdered and in fact leading up to the event. It's also being reported that Turning Point USA insisted on holding that particular event outside, despite clear security and safety concerns that were brought up by UVU. UVU told Turning Point that they could not control the traffic in or out of that area and cited very real safety concerns, but Turning Point insisted it be done outside at that location. There is an entire laundry list of things that were done differently for this event that had never been done before. But let's get to the meat and potatoes. So reports indicate that Charlie's security that day was actually an Israeli security detail. Remember the explosive pagers that were detonated by Israel intelligence last year? Keep that in mind as we move to this next part. When I personally saw the video on the day Charlie was killed, the one thing that immediately stood out to me before all video evidence began disappearing from the internet was the way Charlie's shirt puffed out when he allegedly took a bullet to his neck. I thought that was extremely odd. It did not seem logical to me. The wind from the bullet caused Charlie's shirt to move like that? No, it didn't. What we actually saw was a significant large puff of air escaping from under Charlie's clothing. In the moment of his assassination, a puff of air was released and came out through his shirt. It was from his microphone, not the little piece clinging to his shirt. It was from his lapel microphone, folks, according to new reporting. The image on your screen is a bit grainy because it's a screenshot of the clear video we're about to show you from others reporting on this. Watch the video closely and open your eyes to the truth.
Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed Charlie Kirk. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that that was absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw that exit wound. First we had exploding pagers, now we have exploding mics. Do you remember the vector analysis from John Bray? That proves that all of the activity came from the mic that Charlie Kirk was wearing.
See what we mean? Nothing else, other than some sort of explosive device, could have caused that puff of air under his clothing like that. They built an explosive device into his microphone and killed him. And now Turning Point and its members are raking in the dough. What we report is real. It's the truth. The Werff report has not been taken over. The Werff report is not anti-Semite like the comments will suggest very shortly. And we are not against Trump. Time will be the ultimate judge of this video, as it has been all of our others. Time will judge this information, and it will also judge people's comments. We stand on truth, and truth does not fear the judgment of time. Thanks for watching, America, and please, like and share this video, and if you can, click the donate button at the top right corner of our website to donate any amount you like to support our program. We truly need your help, and we can't do this without you. We appreciate your support, and we love you all. This has been another segment of the Werff Report for November 14th. Keeping you vigilant, America, 2025. God bless you all. God bless President Trump, and God bless America.